We're going to say a prayer. All right, everybody's here. So, Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel, higher self, higher team, all angels, guide, and light workers here for our highest good and the highest good of all. Please help us to help everyone here tonight. Please help us to shift humanity here tonight. Please help us to lift consciousness tonight for our highest good, for the highest good of all, or something even better.
I want a J.
Yeah, what's that?
I want a J.
You wanted a J? What?
The L and a J.
Oh, yes. Well, hi, everybody. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. This is Hannah Bear. Hannah! Hannah! And she's looking at all the great people that are here tonight. We've got the J for Jen. We've got Heather. We've got Laura with the L. We've got Chris. We've got Emilio. We've got Paradoxical Debacle. We've got Heen. We've got Matthew. We're sending love to Richard and Angie and sending love and sending love. We've got Sherry and Matthew. We are going to have a beautiful discussion here tonight, if we can say that, about what's going on, how we're being misdirected, and everything taking place really in the U.S. today from a spiritual perspective or from a spiritual lens. I did not plan that. That is the pair of sunglasses that Honey Bear got me because she wanted me in pink. What do you think, pink or yellow? Which do you like better?
Both.
Both. Which do you like me in, pink or yellow, or both?
Both.
Both. So there you have it. So is there anything you want to share? I always ask, well, how are you feeling? Because we're going to talk here tonight about some pretty heavy topics from a spiritual perspective. Then we're going to do a Q&A, and then we're going to do a group intention meditation to help shift a lot of this energy. How are you feeling about the energies of the world today?
Good.
Good. How are you feeling about the energy here tonight?
Good.
Good. How are you feeling about life in general?
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. I am going to have you go to Mama Bear now so that I can start this talk, because there is no way that I can do a channeled deep discussion while I'm holding pure love. Because when I'm holding pure love, I'm just going to be in this state of pure love. Let's see what everybody is saying here as we get started. So we've got, hi, Honey Bear, you look good with Daddy's red glasses on. In Los Angeles, so glad to connect. Everybody, please share where you're from. Those look red, not pink. Yes, this is what happened. They are pink glasses. They look red. I didn't want to wear a red pair of glasses. Can you smile? Can I show everybody that they're pink? Oh, no, they still look red. They still look very red. You can't see. Why am I putting these on you? You can't see with them on. All right. Shall we go into the teaching? I think we're going to go into the teaching. So do you want to say goodnight, everybody? Bye. Bye. Mwah. All right. Thank you. It's Hannah. Okay. Thank you, Hannah Bear. All right. We got Denver, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Maine, North Carolina. Thank you, Mama Bear. So Mama Bear put lighting on behind us, gave me a haircut 5 minutes ago, and she loves doing things always right before the show. We've got Toronto, we've got Vermont. Okay, how this works here this evening is whenever I go into a YouTube live event or class for that matter, like our School of Mystics, I channel beforehand. And I may go to specific guidance. It could be angels. It could be higher beings. It could be anything. And then I see what comes forth. And then I may reread that and tweak it a bit and then share that message with you. This one was interesting. The message started coming through on Thursday. Really, he was screaming at me on the weekend because I had no plans on doing this topic. So I think it was Saturday that I got in touch with my moderator here, a super moderator extraordinaire, Aya Bear. We're all bears in this family. Story for another day. And ended up saying, we've got to do this. And then, obviously, world events have been changing quickly this week. And it was quite the teaching or channeling I got this morning, of which they're still trying to channel. I never closed that communication. And so I have my notes in front of me that I'm going to go over with you. And they may add things to it at the same time. Alberta, we've got all over the world here. And people are mentioning the camera was flipped on me, however we call that, and I was on an Emilio show earlier this week, which Emilio did a brilliant job. It was awesome. I cannot recommend it enough. All right, so I'm going to dive into the teaching here. And somebody's mentioning Violet Healing Flame from Los Angeles. Love it, Nadine. A caveat, is that the right way to put it? A brief disclosure. I am not a red. I am not a blue. I am not a black. I am not a white. I may be a zebra. I am not a liberal or a conservative. I am an energetic being having a human experience, as are you. And I don't do sides on a round planet. Anything that comes through has an element of channeling, but it is also coming through the medium, whoever is that medium or channel. And I fully take ownership of that. But nothing that I am saying or sharing, I hope, is coming either from a place of judgment or a place of this person is right and that person is wrong. I don't operate that way. At the highest level, none of us operate that way. When we're in spirit form, none of us operate that way. So this is all story. Yet I feel it's important to share the story that came to me. It just popped up on my computer. It says, interactive tabs got a new look. Do you got it? Yes, I got it. That's the whole point. Things come to me and I got it and I got to share. So I'm going to dive in the language coming from the guides. And then it'll transition into my own language. Feel free, Planet Lover, love the Emilio interview. Yay. Feel free to jump in with questions in the chat. I'm going to do my best to get to as many of them as I can. And then we will go into a group intention meditation. So let us start there and see where we get. So I went into channeling this morning. And I always go into my automatic writing, and I first want to ask about me. I want to ask about what's going on with the family. This is behind me. I don't know if you can see it. That's Lake Champlain, but it is shrouded in smoke right now. And so I want to know, are we supposed to stay? Is my wife and daughter, are their health going to be okay? And like Sir Meowsers, who's right next to me. Sir Meowsers! Is health going to be okay? But they were here having none of it. And they started with this. Expect things to get much worse before they get better, because what he really wants to do is call in the troops. He wants to push the limits of federal powers as much as he can, as quickly as he can, to try and occupy California as kind of a reverse federal takes power civil war. That's what he wants to do. And the question is, why now, and what does it have to do with Elon Musk? And the answer is everything. So by the point in this channeling, I'm going, what kind of a channeling are we doing here today? I'm not feeling very comfortable with it. This is almost starting to get political. And so I tried to shut them down. It says, and the question is, why now? What does this have to do with Elon Musk? And the answer is everything. It is a diversion. It is taking one's eye off of the prize and is turning everyone into a weapon of the state, at which point I stopped my channeling and tried to shut it down cold. I said, can I start this again? I need this to be positive and uplifting. And so I tried. And they said, they are being played in multiple directions or angles. They, meaning the people, us. We are being played in multiple directions or angles, but it's not the only game in town. At this point, I'm going, who is this? Is this Archangel Michael? And I'm getting yes. Why does this sound like Adamus? It does have a bit of an Adamus tone to it, but it is truly Archangel Michael. I said, why are people being played? Who are people being played? Or how are people being played? And then what I heard is, when it goes from one news, in quotes, story to the next, with no time to breathe. And they said, watch the timing, dear ones. Watch the timing. When it goes from one story to the next story to the next, with no time to breathe, know you're being played. When a big news story breaks, and all of a sudden there is a war, or a terrorist attack, or riots, that is one being played. Even Trump versus Musk itself was people being played. And they said, so let's back up. When it comes to Trump versus Musk and who will win, which was loosely the title of the show, the trick is, if you focus on the fight, It's like the sleight of hand of a magician. I am no magician, to say the least. But it's like, you take the stone and it's a sleight of hand and then woof, and it's gone. You are being focused on where something is not. What does that mean? Even Musk versus Trump, or Trump versus Elon, or however we want to call it, and who will win, it's a sleight of hand of the magician, because no one wins. No one of us wins when we're focused on that, because what we're being pulled, or being, what's the word? Yeah, I'm going to go with pulled. Our attention is being pulled away from what matters most. What does it mean? What does it matter most? And somebody's mentioning flooding. And yes, I do believe that they mentioned Steve Bannon and flood the gates in a minute. Oh my gosh, golly. What matters most is love. And, there's a good and here, self-empowerment. Fighting the powers that be only disempowers you more. This gets right back to LA, and we're going to get there in a few minutes. Fighting the powers that be only disempowers you more. Giving away your energy by focusing on the fights only disempowers you even more. Yes, it may be done out of hope. Oh my gosh, I hope this person wins. I hope Elon shows up Trump. I hope Trump puts down Elon. I hope. That's not the answer. First, let's back up. So I will finish this show here tonight. And we'll have some beautiful music from my sister, literal sister, Ayla Ray. Music Shine Bright. I love you. Her real name is Elisa. I love you, Elisa. Her non-show name. I guess her show name is a real name. And then I will go, and if I want to, the computer will say, you had this many thousand people watch it for this many total minutes. Now, I can come back to this tomorrow, or I could post another video, and I might see that over time, 100,000 minutes is watched, or 100,000 hours is watched, or 1.1 million hours are watched, or maybe even 100 million minutes or 100 million hours can be watched on a video, which sounds like quite a few minutes or hours. And it is. And it's cool because I put a lot of effort into this and I want to make a big difference. And so when you see that number of minutes watched, that's a really cool thing. In this case, though, if we go back last week and we look at Trump versus Musk, and I almost want to put that in quotes because I don't know the real story, except for it's two very big individuals who are pulling our attention along. That attention may be burning to the extent of 100 billion minutes or even 100 trillion minutes. If you watch for 10 minutes a day or 10 hours a day, and another person watches for 10 minutes or 10 hours, and another person 10 minutes or 10 hours, another person watches 10 minutes or 10 hours, how many hours are being burned away for naught? For zero. Do you gain anything from watching it? Okay, not the dopamine hit, not the dopamine rush. As I was telling Aya Bear beforehand, we get to step away from the juice. But how much is it shifting our lives for the better? And this isn't about don't watch this or don't watch that. But the messages are not uplifting people. They're not inspiring people. They're not helping you to create, to build, or to get back in the power. In fact, what you're really watching is a street fight, and you're watching two thugs, and you're hoping one thug beats the heck out of another thug, or one thug exposes the other thug, and that thug goes to jail. But what we're not doing is rooting for a positive outcome. Positive meaning something that brings up all of humanity. This is where it gets spiritual. We're hoping to see one winner or one loser, or if we're honest, to see someone get beat up. Watching a fight, no matter who is fighting, never does any good for the system as a whole. That's why we can say, well, Ukraine or Palestine or Israel or any place, and rooting for one side or the other, at the end of the day, never heals the system as a whole. And we are one system. Michael, we are not. I am certainly not that. It's a closed planet, man. It's one spaceship. You may have one wing of a spaceship fighting another wing, but it's one spaceship. Period. That ain't not parapsychology. That ain't spiritual hocus pocus. We're on one Earth ship. Watching a fight, no matter who is winning, never does good for the system as a whole. Ever. But what it does successfully do is give your power away. Somebody's talking about how they move. What is it? How do we protest peacefully? We'll get there. Never give your power away. In this case, watching the fighters, both of the fighters win. They're still in big power, but we lose. I'll put that in quotes. And so the question is there really such a thing as losing? I'm here to tell you why there is no good nor bad. I say there's no good nor bad energy, but there can be good and great energy. I will say there are easier paths and there are harder paths. And there are paths that we would be best not to take. What's a path that's best not to take? Wow, there are no bad paths. I'll tell you this. I don't want to give my power away. I already, in this crazy, tumultuous world, it's hard to think I have enough power. Why would I give away what I have? Instead, we came here to rediscover our power or redefine it at a higher level. Or I was interviewing Kim Russo earlier today, who also flipped the tables on me. And it was about remembering your power. We came here to heal wounds, not create new ones, and to learn and grow and expand along the way. And this show right now, this P.T. Barnum circus, this is the greatest distraction on earth. Really, it is. And now it's a double distraction. Why? Well, because there was the distraction last Thursday, and now there's a totally new distraction to take our eyes off of that distraction. And I can already see coming up, they're trying to build in another distraction and another distraction and another distraction. And there'll be another and another. One to the next, to keep you from focusing on your spiritual evolution, to keep you from focusing on the evolution of humanity, to focus on keeping you from the evolution of the planet. Instead, focusing on this fight, in this case, two bullies in the schoolyard, is focusing on the de-evolution of the planet, of the species, and of the individual. De-evolution of the species and of the individual, yes. I had on a guest a year or two ago. Beautiful soul, couldn't air the show. It's rare. I think maybe 5-6 times in the whole history, 10 years of interviews. That's a lot of interviews. It's thousands of interviews, several thousand interviews. I couldn't air the show. Beautiful, amazing guest, incredible ideas. At the end of the day, and this is somebody who was born in a horrific war zone. At the end of the day, he said there's a time and a place for killing. There's a time and a place where you need to kill someone or you need to kill evil before it spreads. Might be right. My opinion is no. We're all brothers. We're all sisters. I can't imagine what he went through. But I could not promote his work because then people would go back to his site where he might promote the same thing. Here's all I know. The brain changes when it goes through times of war. The brain changes in times of great crisis. The brain changes in abusive relationships, particularly in abuse or war zones or scary things for that matter, as a child. The brain literally changes, makes one more aggressive, makes one wired to fight, makes one wired more for fight or flight. In fact, in males, it can literally even create more skull, more bony matter in the front of the skull, presumably for a fight. It literally creates physical changes. Now, these physical changes or energetic changes, what happens is they make things manifest. And they do one thing and one thing alone. Turn you into a better fighter. If you grow up in a fighting environment, you become a better fighter. I've got to be honest. I grew up in a very emotionally abusive childhood. I love my parents dearly. I've done a lot of work. And I've gotten a few 2x4s from the universe, which have helped me on my way. But I was a beautifully skilled fighter, not a fist fighter. I couldn't raise a fist to anybody. I couldn't win a fight to save my life, except for the person that mugged me in Morocco, who I was dragging to the police station. Story for another day. But that was just pure strength, man. I couldn't hit a person to save my life. I could try to be vicious, though, because I was wired to fight. Focusing on fighting wires you to fight. Focusing on riots wires you to fight. Focusing on rage and outrage and the news, which tells you to get upset and to be outraged or aghast at anyone, trains you into a better fighter. Not a better human being, not a better lover, not a better energetic being in physical clothing, but a better fighter. Now, how is that a good thing for the government? If it turns you into a better fighter and the government wants to keep control over you, then wouldn't they not want you to focus on this? Oh, no, not the case. Because fighters can be led and directed. Fighters are not inherently thinkers. This doesn't mean you can't have a smart fighter. Muhammad Ali, oh my God. But what it does mean is that you're not in a loving state. I love you. Try doing that. It doesn't work so well. Now, I have watched a boxing movie or two, and I wince and I go, I send love, I send love, I send love. I cannot watch two souls hurting each other. I cannot watch that. This next era of humanity, next era meaning now. If you haven't noticed, 2025 is buck wild. It's crazy because we have transitioned. This is the shift. This is the time spent on the other side. We have made it past the tipping point. And boy, is the other side fighting back ruthlessly. Can we call it a spiritual war? Sure, if we want to label it. But what I would say is the old guard is trying to hold on with all it can. It's not going to win. The old guard is the physical, is the fighting, is the over steroidal masculine mind gone awry, where it is the balance, masculine, feminine, heart, the lover. I keep seeing the bumper sticker, or the license plate. Virginia is for lovers. It is the loving state and the lovers that will control the world. Love is the highest power there is, not fighting. Fighting may topple a mountain over time, but it will not grow a new mountain, and certainly not an even better one. Because love is the energy of creation. Fight is never the energy of... He fighted to make that Mona Lisa. What? He fighted to produce the greatest play on earth. Huh? She fought like crazy to write a beautiful piece that uplifted the world of music. No. If we can be kept out of a state of love, if you can be kept out of your power, the other side, the old gasp, the old guard, maintains its power and maintains its grip on you. It doesn't even have to be that far. If you can simply be kept on edge, going from story to story. This is why if you go from story to story, you're being played. Steve Bannon, former advisor, I won't even go there. I don't know proper labels of terms. I guess he's now a podcaster of Donald Trump once said, flood the gates. Make it go from one story to 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 keep people totally off edge, to keep people totally off guard so that they can't get back in their power. They can't dispute anything that you say or do. They can't stop you from doing anything. And they can't get back into their hearts. This is the big picture message. And as Archangel Michael would want to share, as I want to share, it's happening on many levels. Sure, there's the level of the body politics. Politics, or as Kim Russo was saying earlier today, I'm going to use her term and I'm going to give her credit, politrick. On the level of the politrick, or the Houdinis of politics, it's heavily on that level. It's also happening on the level of the press, which is having a field day with this. Why? Well, in today's world, the press are paid by clicks and by views and impressions and things of that sort. And so in a sense, they are making huge money off of these calamities. This is not to be understated. They can take a tiny story right now and feed off of your fears and make it huge. Well, these people are getting shipped to this place today. And that may be against the Constitution. And full disclosure, I have a political science degree as my first degree, numerous degrees, blah, blah, blah. But I have a political science degree in constitutional law and international affairs. Certainly I could go, my mind could be blown. And I go, what are you doing? That doesn't serve anybody. I can see I'm being played if that takes place. I can see that's not here to serve me. What is here to serve me? Not to be played by those in power. There was a Jackie Chan movie. Oh my gosh. Rush Hour. And in the movie Rush Hour, his compatriot and himself are trying to find the bad guy. And one said to the other, it's not Chris Rock. I'm forgetting the name, the brilliant comedian who plays the opposing role. One comedian says to the other, one character says to the other, where do we find the bad guy? And the other one said, look for the rich white guy. And that's not exactly the statement I'm trying to make here. But the statement I'm making is that those in power stay in power by getting you to take your eye off the prize. And those in money stay in money by getting you to focus on what they call the garbage in the streets. There's an expression in journalism, I'm sure you've heard it. If it bleeds, it leads. If it bleeds, it leads. If it bleeds, it leads. It takes you away from front and center. It takes you away from the heart. If they can come up with a story that bleeds and leads, you're knocked off balance. You're knocked out of your centered place. I'm knocked out of your power. Now, this does not mean, as Kim and I were talking about earlier today, you do not have discernment. If a federal government is trying to overtake a state, it does not mean that you go, oh, yeah, well, that's going on. I think I'll just have my green smoothie. Okay, I will have some green smoothie. Thank you. But what it does not mean is you fight fire with fire. If you see your fellow neighbors being carted away, and it's sort of like, I'm in Burlington, Vermont right now, and every place is all about inclusivity. Even or especially at the YMCA, it says, we welcome you no matter your color, your creed, your nationality, your immigration status, your sexuality, your anything. You're still a human being. We welcome you here. Woohoo! That's my political statement. Woohoo! Recognizing another human being as another human being. Awesome. So, if powers that be are trying to take over your state, okay, that may be a really big deal. If the powers that be are trying to take away your neighbor, that may be a really big deal. But we don't meet it this way. Ever. And we don't meet it this way in our mind's eye. This can be quite violent. And I'm not talking about watching horror movies. I'm talking about watching the news or the social media or whatever it is and going, yeah! Excuse me. That's energy. That's daggers. That's doing damage. Yes, Lori, it is an amazing thing about here. That is... They have an old filmographer, videographer of mine who would say, not good, that's bad. He had the funniest, most beautiful accent from Denmark. It's not ideal if we go to violence in our mind's eye. Certainly we can say this should not be happening. We can say, I see something better happening. I need something better to happen. You see people whisked away. You see people losing their rights. You see people shot with supposedly rubber bullets to kill. And you go, no, 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 no. It doesn't mean you have to turn a blind eye. But it means you focus on the big picture. I do not say you don't even go to the streets, but you focus on the big picture. What's the big picture? Stop. Stop giving your energy away. Stop giving your time away. Stop giving your focus away, your life force away, your heart away, your chi, your quam, your everything away. Start bringing it back to center. Back to center, back to center, back to center still. And from that centered place, you will know what gets to be done. So, oh, it's interesting. I am here. I don't know. I guess you can see the water behind me. There should be mountains back behind me. You cannot see the mountains because they're obscured in the smoke. So I could focus on the smoke and go, oh my God, there's so much smoke. It might be here for the whole summer. It might happen this, that might happen. There could be total gloom and doom. Oh my God, what do I do? And believe me, I heard that my daughter has been coughing over the last few naps. And so I am paying, and I know my wife has gotten sick with smoke, I am paying very keen and careful attention to this. But if I focus on the gloom and doom and what I can't do, we can't go outside, we can't do this, we can't do that, and what we smell for that matter, I lose my power. If I focus on what I can do, what I can control, or what I can be quite positive about, or if I kick back at this other desk right over here, which I'm going to do after this, and I kick back and kind of just drool and look at the water without focusing on the gloom and doom, the heart starts to pick up a greater frequency, greater ideas, greater possibilities of how I get to move forward. That's what we get to do. That's what you get to do. So, we're going to dive more into this. Who is the real winner? If you see quicksand, or if you ever find yourself in quicksand, and I have not, but I can imagine it pretty good. I found myself in some pretty good mud. What happens when you get into quicksand? Well, if you relax into quicksand, actually, I'm going to use an even better example, a real world example of today. If you get into, because I'm, among other things, a Florida boy. I'm a Florida boy, a Colorado boy, a Maui boy, a Vermont, Quebec, and it goes on and on. I get around a little bit. I'm an open water swimmer. If you get caught in a rip current, you know the surefirest, if you can say that, way to die is in a rip current? To fight the current. You will get exhausted, and then you'll be pulled under. Not by the current, but by your exhaustion because you fought it. If we fight against anything, we will be exhausted today, and it will pull us under. However, interesting thing about rip currents, one that most people don't know, and I'm not a rip current expert. I don't play one on TV. However, I have swam through many of them. Rip currents go out, spin around, and come back in. They go out, they spin around, and they come back in. Do not fight the rip current. Relax into the rip current. And either you'll be brought right back to shore someplace else, or somebody will be able to pick you up and scoop you up and bring you back in because you didn't get exhausted. Quicksand. If you fight against the quicksand, it pulls you down and pulls you down fast. When you fight, it tightens its grip, sinking you faster. When you fight the powers that be right now, they would love that. That is where they get their power. You fight, they bring in more troops. You fight, they take away more rights. You fight, they have an excuse to do this, to do that, to do the other thing. The more you fight, the more you lose. all you're doing is fueling a Darth Vader wannabe, whoever that may be. Again, this ain't political. This is just how it works. Fighting has, never will, has, was, and never will be the answer. Yeah, but Michael, we fought and won World War II. Did we? Whatever we is? Or did those wounds, are they coming back now? And why is Aya calling me? Aya, why are you calling me?
You're very red.
I'm turning into a tomato, I am told. All right, Mama Bear, you can adjust the lights here, the lighting. The software is turning me cherry red. And that is worth interrupting. Maybe it is. I am not fighting the quicksand. There is something on here, and you have two other lights that we can adjust. And let me see what I can do here. Oh, I understand it's the software, but there is in this software, there are lighting color levels. And so I am looking for the color levels, which are on one of these boxes that you can adjust color. Now, my producer is not here, and I imagine you've tried to get in touch with him. There is another box here that will show us colors. Fades, green level, bright. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Brightness. What if we scroll down? Temperature, saturation. Temperature? Let's get me on the bigger screen here. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. There we go. I don't look that red, do I? Or is it because of the blue light behind me? Okay, so you want me to do temperature? Is that better? Or do you want me to go to saturation? Oh. Is that better?
I think that's better.
Do you want me to...
What are they saying in chat?
What are they saying in chat? Oh my God, Michael turned into a tomato. Think if he turns off the violet lighting behind him, it won't try to balance it out. Not it. Go cooler. Temperature. So, okay, we can go this way. What's that? All right. Love to all from Colorado. Face red shape. Better, better. No worries. You look fine. Better, better. I have no skin in this game. If I turn into a purple tomato, I love you anyway. So I'm going to dive back in until my team tells me that I am too much of a cherry red tomato. Where was I? I don't think the color... I didn't even know. I had no idea. People are saying better, though. All right, so let us dive back in. And I was on a roll, so I get to see where I am in this. All right. I think we can start with "You don't look red to me." Thank you, Rachel Rose. Less tomato now. It doesn't matter. It's okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Here we go. The studio door is closing. All right. Bear with me. Let's do this. Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel, higher self, higher team, and all angels, guide, and light workers here for our highest good and the highest good of all. Please help me to help everyone here tonight. Please help me to shift consciousness here tonight. Please help me to help all of humanity here tonight for our highest good, for the highest good of all, or something even better. Woohoo! All right. I had to get back into that state. Lori is talking about quicksand. And yes, I guess you could say that that was fighting the quicksand if we do not allow the current to steer us around, to turn us into the cherry red tomato, and to bring us back. All right, what's our job? Our job is to focus on the love, to focus on where we wish to see humanity. And if we wish to focus on the country and focus on people's rights, which is huge, it's to focus on what we do want rather than what we do not want. It doesn't mean we can't protest or march. I prefer the term march rather than protest, because to protest is to fight against anything. Although actually is a can be the word protest, testing out something, testing out an idea. But we use that term protest is to be against something. but we can march. We can be for something, but we cannot. And it's a term. I've been teaching Honey Bear not to use the word can't. So, I get to be careful, but I'm going to use it anyway. We cannot be sucked into the quicksand and into the muck and the mire, which means we must know why we're going on the streets. We must know why we're making phone calls. We must know why we're voting with our energy, with our thoughts, with our minutes, with our hours. That keeps us being sucked into the quicksand. We must do so out of love, for love, through love, about love. Protest on the streets, you could say, out of love. Be on the streets out of love. Call your senators and congressmen for what you do want rather than what you do not want. Do not attack anybody. Do not say bad things about anybody. Do not wish ill will to anybody, because it will always double back. I guess that's where I was going with World War II. All the ideas out of World War II have come back because you can't kill an idea with a fight. It doesn't work. What you can do with an idea is bring it into the light. You can illuminate it. Been asking, how do I define myself recently? It's hard to put anybody in a box. Am I an alchemist? Not quite it. Mystic, certainly, but what does that mean? And one could say I'm a soul illuminator. I help you to see the brightness that's inside of you. I help you to light your soul up to a new level. I help ignite you on the highest level and to live at that brighter light. We get to illuminate everything, bring light to the darkness, and keep burning that light and burning that vision. What's that vision? Well, my vision would be a world where we're all equal. We focus on that. A world where we're no borders. We focus on that. A world where we truly all come together. This is really starting to sound like a Beatles song for good reason. We focus on that. It's a world where we can afford eggs. We focus on that. We can afford a home. Remember the old American dream? We focus on that no matter what country you're in. We can afford our food, our homes, our health care, our health. We focus on this and do not take the eye off of the prize. How many minutes were just burned on Musk versus Trump that we could have been spending time in meditation or healing or exercising or saying prayers or with our loved ones or looking up how to get healthier, how to get stronger, how to make more money or attract more money. Instead, we're giving it all away. Focus on what you want. Oh, I love that, Cindy. A soul igniter. I love that, Cindy. Focus on what you want. That's what's not being talked about. You're not going to find an article anywhere focusing on what do you want. You're not going to see a story anywhere. New York Times, you can manifest a new reality. What? Fox News, I don't even remember many of the other papers du jour. There's one that has like a biblical name. Whatever it is, you're not going to find one that says, you can take back your energetic power. It ain't gonna happen. It won't happen because the people at the top of any press organization won't have their money, won't have your money, if you're back in your power. Because if you're in your power, you don't need to read about your power being taken away because your power can't be taken away. They can't take away your power. Actually, even that almost has a victimhood to it. I'm trying very hard not to have victimhood in our titles on this show. Your power can't be taken away. We get to illuminate your power. Can't be taken away by the press, can't be taken away. The companies can't be taken away by leadership. They won't have their money, they won't have their power if you recognize your own power by focusing on your own power. This is so key to understand. 2025 is a year where you come back in your power. This is a year where you understand you're a creator. You understand you create. You understand that you illuminate the world and you project an image onto the world with your heart, with your thoughts, with your feelings, with your eye. This is a year where, because of the thinness of the veil, it is incredibly easy to create and temporarily incredibly easy to decreate. Depending on, not even technically a word, depending on where you put your focus. And this is a time where it seems like seemingly your power can be taken away from you like that in an instant or a heartbeat if you take your focus away from your prize. So, this means we focus exactly where we want to be. So, it's interesting. Thursday, I had the most beautiful show. I love it. If you haven't seen it, one of my all-time favorite shows. Kyle Cease on the show. And oh my God, did I love this show. I cannot say enough good things about it. And I say a lot of good things about a lot of shows. But this was one that I wanted Jessica and I to watch again and again and again and again and again. It was Thursday night. And it performed really, really, really badly. Cancel, clear, release. Oh, it's going to perform really, really, really greatly. But relatively very few people saw it Thursday night. Why? Because too many people, or I won't say too many, that's judgment. A lot of people were turned in to Elon and turned into Trump. And focusing on that was gives you a hit, disempowering. Focusing on the Kyle Cease show, while very empowering, didn't have that first dopamine hit or rush to it. One of them, positive, affirming, life-changing. The other one, a moment to roll around in the gutter. We have been trained, it's not you, not me, we've been trained and entrained to roll around in the gutter. Almost no one, relatively speaking, Amanda, I know you were there, showed up for the show. Bonnie, I know you're there. Karen, we were probably there. So many people were not there because our eye was taken off the prize deliberately. This is deliberate. You're being played. While we could have been, certainly Thursday night, but all throughout our lives, empowered, inspired, learned to live a different way, learned to live at a higher level. Instead, we are fed garbage that keeps us disempowered. Look at the stories today in the news, although they're even darker, and the stories 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. Heck, go back to the 60s. The stories haven't gotten any more empowered. It's not that humanity hasn't risen up. Your neighbors are kinder, they're gentler, more loving, despite what you've heard. Crime rates are down, despite what you've heard. The veil is thinner, despite what you've heard. Our ability to heal each other, to love each other, to connect is greater than it's ever been. We're not taught that, and we're not taught to focus on that, because our eyes are taken off the prize. And so the message is really quite simple and quite clear. Look if you need to. Take a glance. Heck, I promise you, I think it was 3 glances today. All told, maybe a minute total. I wanted to see what the stories are. I wanted to know what you were focused on or concerned about. I wanted to know what you were being fed. And I want to know what's going on big picture in the real world, whatever this means. And then I want to get the hell out of there, and I want to create something better. I do not want to go to fighting. I do not want to go to slander, to go to picking on anyone. I look, and I recommend look if you need to, but get yourself back to center. Go to the streets if you feel called, but only do so out of love, only for a positive impact on the planet. Do not go to fighting. Do not go to fight against anyone. Do not root for anyone to be hurt or anyone to lose. Do not be fooled into outrage. I think it was the Dalai Lama. And he had monks that escaped from Tibet, escaped from the Chinese. And he came down to the Dalai Lama many years ago, many decades ago. And they said, we almost died. And the Dalai Lama is interested in this because death is not a concern typically to a monk who believes in reincarnation and eternal lives. What do you mean you almost died? We almost lost compassion for our captors. To them, that was actually a fate worse than death. We almost lost compassion for our captors. Do not be fooled into outrage, no matter what. This is where the Darth Vaders of the world reside. In hatred, in derision, in division, and all the fighting takes place. That's where they get their power. That's where the mosquitoes draw their blood. But if you bring it back to love, if you bring it to your neighbors, if you bring it to a brighter future, if you bring it to what you truly desire, you can have this or something greater. And those supposed powers that be, naturally by design, are no longer the powers that be because we didn't feed them. Yeah, but Michael, if I don't do something, okay, do something, but do it out of love. Yeah, Michael, if I don't stand up for, out of love. Michael, they're pulling around away my neighbors. Out of love. Not they're being pulled away out of love. You act from the heart. That will create greater change than anything else. And focus with every single thing you've got on what you want. That is the big secret. Not the movie The Secret, which was good. It was good at its time. You focus on what you want, and you take those countless minutes, those countless man hours, or whatever hours they are, human hours, energetic soul hours, and you focus on the best, brightest, most amazing future possible, or something even better. And how does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? Focus. How's it go? Ask and ye shall receive. The greatest ask in the world is the one you ask by focusing on it and not the opposite of it with your mind. By focusing on it and not the opposite of it with your mind. All right, so I'm going to go to some... And thank you, Marianne just joined the Backstage Pass. We were putting out regular videos. We've hiccuped since we've gotten to Vermont. I did get a video back out yesterday. We're doing our best to get a lot more videos out. It's like yesterday was on the mountain with Hannah Bear, teachings on the mountainside, teaching out on the water and what it means for you. So we're trying to put up these videos for you. That's the join link down below. All right, so I'm going to take a sip probably of my dinner smoothie, going to take a little sip of water. We're going to go to questions here, and then we're going to go into a meditation. And thank you for hanging in there during the Tomato Red episode. Okay, I'm seeing from they're going too fast, the comments here. All right. And lots of beautiful, loving souls here tonight. So love that. Hold on here a second. Blow a little bit of smoke out of my nose. There we go. From Golden Aura. Hi, Michael. I don't know if you remember. I'm sure you do. Jake Norwood, my soul brother in prison. Oh, cool. These are his two questions. He asked that you please speak on the Akashic records. Okay, so... and I'll go to a second. The second question is, does society cast us out for being different to keep our light from shining? Okay, let's go first. Akashic Records is kind of, the Akashic Masters are the librarians of the universe. And, I'm going to butcher this so badly, but there was a gentleman who we had on the show many years ago who was the reason that one of the greatest illnesses on earth, smallpox, was eradicated. And he had no plans on doing anything to do with smallpox until, this is totally butchering his life story, he went to somebody who pulled an Akashic record on him and said that he was going to be this great healer or help end this plague. And it turns out he ended up doing so. The Akashic Records does have information about, I'm going to call it the most likely timeline for you. I say most likely because nothing is written in stone. Nothing. You have free will. On the other hand, all of our lives are happening simultaneously. Lives millions of years from now, lives millions of years ago are all happening at the same time. But there's a preponderance of evidence, a mountain of evidence that says you're going to end up doing this. Larry, I want to say Larry Brilliant. Larry, his name will come to me shortly, probably. Preponderance of an evidence of what's most likely to take place. Going to the Akashic Records, to me, isn't so much the answer of who or what you're going to be, but helps give you the breadcrumbs to help you to step forward into who you wish to become. Either it'll show you something that you don't like and help you pivot, or something that you do like and help you pivot toward that. I teach automatic writing. My automatic writing directly came many iterations past, but it all started from taking a class on learning how to communicate with the Akashic Masters. And I actually really didn't like what I heard. They said I was going to be a leader, a teacher. I was going to speak before thousands of people on a mountaintop up on high. And I thought it was bogus and it was broken. It was BS, and I never wanted to do it again. And then I heard from them again, and then I heard from them again, and then I heard from a past life regression. And then years later, I had become a leader, a teacher, speaking before thousands on a mountaintop on high. A lot of this stuff is real. And so it was learning how to communicate with the Akashic Masters that I started learning how to do automatic writing. Second piece, does society cast us out for being different to keep our light from shining? Society is really threatened by you shining your light bright because it loses control. Society, as it is currently structured, is a method of control. The tribe doesn't want you to vary from the tribe because they want to keep you in the tribe, not to keep you safe, but they feel by keeping you small, it keeps the tribe safe. It's never about the individual. So we say that we're entering this age of Aquarius. We're entering this age where we've gone from too much mental to back into heart, but in a more balanced, higher expression. That three-dimensional physical now becoming a fifth-dimensional spiritual, you could say mental, meaning a combination of our energetic body and our physical body. Call that the fifth dimension, if you will. Going back to society and where this fits in, and I started to lose my train of thought there. In a 3D society, a fight or flight society, if somebody is going to an energetic state that loses the grip of control of the powers that be, and in that physical presence, when they lose control, they feel they lose safety for the whole. Safety comes from power, comes from fear, comes from lording over, landlord, feudal lord. There is a lording over in that three-dimensional reality. Switching to that fifth dimensional reality, or whatever we want to give it as a definition, the power no longer comes from one individual. The power no longer comes from the top of the pyramid. The pyramid, in a sense, has been flipped on its head. The power comes from everybody. Because at the end of the day, we're individual expressions of all one heart. Yeah, go Bob Marley. We are all one love. Every heart matters, and every heart, excuse me, matters exquisitely. That doesn't work for current society. That doesn't work for the tribe. That doesn't work for the greater tribe. That doesn't work for a nation state. But it does work for our survival as a species. It does work for our survival as a planet. It does work for our greater survival. So that does not mean we dim our lights. We certainly know when to shine it the brightest, of course. And if you're in prison, there's a time to shine your light bright. And I had a dear soul brother in prison for many years then, and he became a teacher in prison. They were yanking him from one place to the next. He would get comfortable in one place. He's making friends. He's teaching, and then they yank him to another place. I get it. System's rigged. Totally get it. We shine our light as bright as safe for us in those environments. And then we keep shining it once it is safer, brighter and brighter and brighter still. And the good news is we are all coming together as one, where it is safe to shine that light truly bright on the world. I hope that helps, Jake. I send all my love your way, all my love, all my love. I put you in this bubble of love and light, and I wish you all the greatest in radiating your love, your light on everyone around you, whether that is consciously, unconsciously, whether that is out loud, whether that is in your head. In whatever way, I know you're making a difference. And so I send love, and even more love your way. All right, next, from Awakened Beloved Soul. Lots of emotions coming to the surface. Is it related to the combustible energy that's in the world today? It all, absolutely, is all coming up to the surface right now. This is a time where we are all insane, or in the words of Adam Sandler, Captain Insano. That is who and what we are right now, so that we can be healed. Recognize it, look at it, observe it. That was a moment I was insane. That was a moment I said something really, really stupid. There is no stupid. Okay, something really, really, really inappropriate. It's okay. You love yourself up for all the emotions coming up, and you go, oh, goody. I gotcha. I gotcha on the run. This is a healing moment. I can learn from this. But it is just, somebody's mentioning they're in Australia right now. All around the world, there are tinder boxes. There is so much kindling. There is so much potential for flame right now. Literally, as was Australia in this winter. And it's the floods too. But this combustible material that's inside of us is actually all here to serve us. So Mandy's saying, I have to stop letting Trump make me angry. Mandy, look at it. You don't have to look at him. Look at the anger. Make friends with the anger. Befriend the anger. Talk to the anger. What can I learn from you, anger? Help me, anger, to transmute your beautiful energy into love. I need to feel safe and secure. Can you help me, anger, understand this so I can feel safe and secure? And then can you help me to send this energy back out? This is what we do in the School of Mystics. We're especially doing it this whole month in School of Mystics. I hadn't even mentioned it yet. 4 Wednesdays every month. It's free to try. Come join us. What we're doing this month is taking all these energies, the swirling energies, this energy of chaos, this energy of riots and everything, and we're transmuting it into something positive at a higher level. Which doesn't mean we stuff it under the carpet. We don't have to say, I'm not going to be angry. I'm not going to be angry. I'm not going to, no. I can't think bad thoughts. No. Can't think bad. Monkey see no evil. Monkey hear no evil. Monkey do no. No. Oh, I wish I had Sharky here. I don't know where Sharky went. Sharky, my little snow globe ball, is also Hana Bear's best friend. We get to look at the anger. Look at the fear, look at the concerns, look at everything, and be honest with ourselves. When we look on the news and we go, holy, I didn't see that, I didn't hear that, I said love. No. Step away from the juice, first off. Step away from the juice. Blow up your Twitter account. Blow up the Twitter account. I mean it. You step away from the juice. What can I learn from this? Not about the news story. What's the trigger inside of me that really right now is a fuse to a giant stick of TNT? What's that trigger? Where did the trigger come from? Where did the trigger begin? Why is the trigger here? What can I learn from the trigger? How do I diffuse the trigger? Have I studied the trigger? Have I looked at the trigger? I want to say make love to the trigger. Have I embraced the trigger? That's what this time period is here for, awakened, beloved soul. And that's what we all get to do at this time. And it ain't easy, and it ain't pretty, and it is perfect, and it is beautiful, just as it is. Stone Gemway and Joe Pianist. Last week, the angels said no riots. What happened? Oh, and what happened to June being a soft month? Actually, if you go back and listen to Stone Gemway and Joe Pianist, they said they would be quieter this month than future months. Not no riots, but less riots. They said that the wick would be turned way up in July and August once things really begin heating up. So every time anyone channels, there is always the preponderance of the evidence, and there is always not just the outlier, but energy changes. Sort of like a possible attempted assassination changed everything. Energy can change. But I am still hearing that this is actually the quieter month. Heaven forbid. And that things will become more energized as the summer goes along. Do I think it's a softer month? It's interesting. So the Lake Champlain here, unfortunately, I'm going to really butcher things. Forgive me, everybody, particularly if you live in Vermont. But Lake Champlain is in the land of Ben and Jerry's ice cream. And I say that lovingly because there are a lot of pastures, a lot of dairy farms, and a lot of cows here that produce a lot of ice cream. Ice cream can be kind of a good thing. I had to do the dairy-free variety, but a lot of people love ice cream. So we're in the land of ice cream. And all of that cow stuff in storms runs down into the rivers and into this great, beautiful lake. Ew. And in the middle of the summer, when it heats up, ooh, they're known for some bad algae overgrowth in places here. Cancel, clear, release. Lots of the lake stays clear and clean. Parts of it do not. once it heats up. Well, guess what? It's really smoky out there, if you can't tell. It's really smoky out there. The sun hasn't been reaching the lake, which is keeping the lake cooler. In a sense, that's sort of like June. It is a softer energy right now. The sun isn't full on. It's keeping the algae at bay. In fact, I went out swimming yesterday, and according to my watch, and I don't know how accurate the watch is because it's on my skin and my skin is warm, but my watch recorded 55-degree water yesterday. I went in, and before I went in, I'm like, I don't know why I'm concerned it's going to be cold. I'm adapted to the cold, but I feel like it's going to be cold. The temperature had dropped between 2 weeks ago and yesterday, had dropped at least 6 degrees. Dropped as we're going into summertime. That is the softer energy. Will it heat back up? Probably so, but hasn't yet. From Clea, that's just what I'm getting. It could do something totally different, and it wouldn't surprise me. It's why I will never want to make a career out of channeling or mediumship, just teaching you how you can plug in yourself. Much better way to go. Cleopatra, why would you want it shut down? Wouldn't you rather know the truth instead of sugar-coated? I'm not sure, Cleopatra, what we're talking about shutting down. I definitely want the truth out there, but the truth is not going to be found by anything one man or woman writes or anyone else. The truth is going to be found on the inside. The truth is going to be found by going quiet. The truth is going to be found through deeper level communication, because everybody, myself included, will have their own bias. I didn't say anything about sugarcoating anything. I want you to observe everything. But observing everything and reading the news are two different things. One of them is a big picture observation. Scan the headlines if you want. Okay, here's what appears to be going on. Here's how we appear to be played. Here's what is really of a big concern. Okay. And the other is diving into the details where they're pulling on your heartstrings. They're tugging at your fears, your worries, concerns, and they're leaving you bereft of the ability to do anything more than blah, 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 by the time you're done reading. That's what we don't want to do. Teresa, similar question. Isn't the truth important? That's my issue. There's truth and there are many lies. So doesn't the truth matter? Big picture truth matters. Don't get lost in the details. If somebody, man, woman, child, otherwise is trying to run, is ramshot, is that the term, over others, take note of that. If somebody is trying to hurt your fellow man, woman, person, take note of that. But you don't need to focus on the details. How does this feel is the best question. Not beyond the I'm being pulled this way or that way by the news. How does this feel? Oh, I have compassion. How does this feel? I feel sad. How does this feel? I want to see things differently. Now we can do something about it. Rather than the doom scrolling. Oh my God, look at this. Oh my God, look at that. Oh my God, I can't even believe. I want to. That does nothing for putting you back in your power place. Jane Seeley, for the masses, I believe we can love the riots away. You can love anything away. There was this dude called Jesus, and I don't believe he's been alone, who could walk on water because he knew what he was. He knew what he was. Was he a son of God? We're all the children of God, whatever we call it. We are all the children of the Creator because we are all the creators. We are all the creators. You are your own Savior. You are your own Messiah. Now we're getting into dangerous territory, but it's true. Can we love the riots away? Absolutely. We can do it through meditation. In fact, Lynn McTaggart, she did studies on this, where they did group intention meditations and ended wars and reduced crime in high crime areas. We can certainly do this. We'll do a short group intention. Look at that. 444 thumbs up as we speak. Completely unplanned. How does it get any better than this? That means go to your angels. We can absolutely positively do that. Whatever we do, do not focus on the reverse. Look at how bad it's getting. Oh my God. Don't go there. That doesn't mean you're not looking at the truth. Doesn't mean you're not looking at what's going on. Focus on, they say, eye on the prize. That's what I've been working with Hannah Bear in gymnastics and running on her bicycle, particularly on her bicycle. On her bicycle, if we're on a narrow path, I have her focus on where she wants to go, because wherever her eyes go, her bicycle is going to follow, quite literally. She will steer wherever her eyes are. Guess what? You will steer wherever your eyes are. I want you to pay careful attention to this one phrase. You will steer your life. You will steer my life. You will steer all our lives wherever your eyes are focused. Now, do you want to focus on finding the truth in all of those stories? Or do you want to focus on where you want humanity to go? Michael, isn't that putting my head in the sand? At no point did I say ignore anything. At no point did I say take your eye off of the prize. At no point did I say that if something that is happening to your neighbor, that you turn and walk the other way. You meet the situation in your heart, on your doorstep, on your stoop, on your streets, wherever you feel called. You meet it from where you want things to go. Glenda, focus on a world where people do not need to process. Focus on a world where everybody says there's a problem. We come together in this giant prayer circle and the problem is gone. That's where we place our focus. Terry, also known as Top Cat. Hi, Top Cat. What does Michael think about stepping in and stopping the hurtful action without aggression, instead of just standing by and doing nothing, allowing? Well, there's this dude called Gandhi. He was pretty darn into that. It seemed to work so well at the time. Worked pretty darn well. Peaceful intervention. Awesome. Awesome. There's a word for it. It's not coming to me at the moment. I'm sure somebody's going to put it in the chat. But yes, why not? Go to the streets out of love. Go to the streets, as the expression is what? Kumbaya. Go to the streets all together as one and say, no, you're not going to do this. If you stand in front of a national or not so national guard or a who knows what or this, and you all stand arms linked out of love, and something happens, heaven forbid, that's the last time something will happen. Why? Because those in love will never let that happen again. And those in love will see the truth. And those in power who fired the shots will instantly lose their power. You're not wanting them to shoot. What you're wanting to do is present love. So they put down their arms. So they put down their weapons. So they put down their riot gear. And they join you because really they are you and you are them. Can we do this all out of love? Yes. Can we go to the streets out of love? Yes. Absolutely. And it's worked. So yeah, Karen's saying, LOL, there's some dude called Gandhi. Yeah. Go to Gandhi. Read up on him. See what he did. Emulate that. Focus on your heart. We can and will change this place out of love. Couple more questions. Let's go into a group meditation here, and then I'm going to put my family to sleep, so to speak. I might be able to get through. I think there's 4 or 5 more questions. Let's see if I can get through these. Oh gosh. Yeah, this is something, Moon Bandit, that I'm teaching Hannah Bear every day. Does the universe understand the energy of fighting against versus being supportive of something? The universe does not understand no. I keep trying to explain this to Hannah Bear. It doesn't. So, it'll be a fun game. And I'm going, I'm going to tickle you. And she'll go, no tickling. I'm like, I hear you want me to tickle you. And she'll go, no tickling. Oh, you want to be tickled? No tickle. The universe doesn't hear that no. If you focus on the tickling, if you focus on the fighting, then there's more of the thing that you're focusing on. Focus instead on what you do want. I want peace. I want happiness. I want a multicultural, multi-ethnicity, open city, open country, open world. If you, we won't even go there. Cancel, clear, release. We're one. It's time. We are one. If you focus on that, something crazy special will come to you. Mackenzie, How do we get back to this now moment state? Is saying the prayer a good option? Sometimes I get stuck in the what ifs, if not the now. Here's a good example of how we can do this, Mackenzie. It's kind of mindfulness in action. You're driving down the road and somebody cuts you off. And you start to think of all the things you could say, all the things you could do, take your hands, curl your hands over the wheel. Feel your hands on the steering wheel. Maybe it's leather or pleather. Feel with one finger, then with 2 fingers, 3 fingers. Feel the grip on the wheel. Is it cool? Is it warming? Is it firm? Is it soft? Feel the feedback that you're getting from the road. Feel if there's any vibration that you're feeling off. Feel whatever you... Guess what? You're here. You're present. You forgot about the other person because you're focusing on that feeling state, which is a now moment state. That is one of the absolute easiest ways we can do it. Sure, we can do it with prayer. Sure, we can do it with breath. But do it by getting back embodied. That's what we're doing. Embodied energy into the body. And you stop going to those other conversations. I will say, I'm not sure if it was Mike Dooley or who we had on in the last 6 months. It was a brilliant comment that somebody gave me, which was they never have discussions with somebody unless they're there. They never have discussions with someone unless they're there. I thought that was too cool because they're always like, we replay things. Well, I could have said this and I could have said that. And if only I'd said this and I would have said that and he would have said this and maybe she would have said that. And then if I did and this... That's taking you out of your present state. Just another fun food for thought. From Jackie. Do you think there is anything in divine relationships, twin flames, etc.? Oh yeah. The trick with divine relationships, twin flames, things of that sort is we call in that best soul to work with us. So that best soul, as I did for Jessica, I really asked for it, the one who helped me to become the best version of me. I wouldn't so much try to call in your twin flame, you can, or call in the divine relationship. I don't want to put too much of a burden of having to find that perfect soul. Jessica is in many ways perfect, in many ways is a challenge because she's the teacher that I called in. It's awesome. But I wouldn't want to hold that attachment of it needs to be exactly this. When we hold on with that much attachment to anything, we can run into a little bit of a challenge. Angie's Own, that's actually part of the informal title to my next book. Do you know anything about the new human? LOL, but I know that's random. Angie, you are the new human. If you are attracted to my energy, if you're attracted to this topic, you are the new human. You are we would call you, maybe call you an old soul, but we would call you a more awakened soul, a soul that's more in vibratory alignment with what's coming through. Is there a new generation beyond this? Yes. Is there a new generation beyond that? I'm looking at Hana Bear. Oh, yes. Is there a new generation? If we have a Hana Bear part 2, for instance, that may be an even newer version of humanity. But this version that's attracted to my energy right now, that's you, is radically different than people that came before. And how you act and how you speak and your compassion and your empathy and your understanding, I would argue even in your DNA and what's been activated. Everything about the new human is different. Those who have gone through an awakening experience, doesn't have to be hitting a tree, doesn't have to be a near-death experience, doesn't have to be floating out of body. But if you're viewing the world differently, you've had an awakening experience. And those that have had an awakening experience are, I would say, upgraded, which is a dangerous term. And I may sneeze from the smoke here for a sec. Hold on. Upgraded implies one is better, one is worse. I don't mean that at all. But if you've been through that doorway, you see the world a different way. And that upgrade means A, you can never go back. B, you will forever interact with the world in a completely different way. I actually get to put out a manual on this because it's important to understand how we interact with the world from that completely new way, from that way of the new human. All right. So I'm going to drink some water, maybe take a sip of smoothie. We are going to do a beautiful group intention meditation. I'm looking at Sir Meowsers, wondering if he's going to lead the meditation. No, he's going to sleep and hold space. I love it. I just need to make sure to feed him well, because if I feed Sir Meowsers well, I get to sleep through the night. If I do not feed Sir Meowsers well, I get to know about it many times over. All right, hold on here. I'm very thirsty, Meowsers. think today's the first time that I ever did an interview an hour before going on air with you. I actually did the interview, ate a little bit of food. Jessica came running in with a razor clipper and scissors, and then new lighting. Here I am. And I guess here was the tomato for a little bit. I don't know why. Very, very, very thirsty. Megan just wrote, Raven, I was just thinking about Gandhi saying, the progress of a nation and its moral compass shall be judged by the way its animals are treated. Oh my God, I love it. And we all get some work to do. Right, Meowsers? Yeah. Thank you, Scotty boy. Okay, what are we going to do? Oh, cool. The lighting is perfect where I know there's a purple glow, but you can see the waves behind me. Not that big. They're about 2-foot waves. They're up to 3-foot waves earlier, which for a lake is a pretty decent little wave. Okay, what are we going to do? All right. That means I went quiet and I see what meditation chased us down. I will say this. We have our School of Mystics. I'd love you to join us. I'd love to help bring your vibration up every week in the School of Mystics. Teach you how to live at that higher level. It's free to try. Come join us. 4 Wednesdays, live or recorded every month. Group intention meditations, attunements to bring your energy up, clearings, so much goodness, so many great people. That's one thing. The other thing is, if you simply want to bring your energy up on a daily basis, it's free. Come on over to dailywoohoo.com. What a name, dailywoohoo.com, where I share story and attunements to bring your energy up each and every day. Totally free, dailywoohoo.com. And for a great group intention meditation, it's always good to have a focal point. In this case, we have our focal point, which is going to be bringing peace to LA right now. And we have a couple School of Mystics members who are having some very serious health concerns at the moment. And if anybody's a School of Mystics member, it's Richard and Angie. And so I want to focus on, for School of Mystics members at least, focus on sending prayers and sending healing love, we all can, to this beautiful, beautiful soul couple, and certainly a twin flame couple, Richard and Angie. All right, so what I'd like to do is I'd like you to close your eyes and go on a beautiful little journey here together. Imagine that you're on the sand, you're on a sandy beach. Maybe it's the beach on Lake Champlain where the sun is shining, where the smoke has gone away, and is the most beautiful, peaceful summer day. You move your feet back and forth in the sand. You scrunch your gluteus maximus or minimus on the sand or on your beach towel or on a log on the sand's edge. You massage your hands back and forth in your thighs and you feel the warmth of a beautiful summer day. You breathe in gently through your nose, down to your navel, out again through your nose. In through your nose, down to the belly, and out through the nose. In and out. In and out. Now, as you keep breathing in and out, nice and gentle and deep, we're going to call everybody together here. Everybody who's watching this, everybody who can hear my voice, past, future, and present, and we're going to all form one giant prayer circle on the edge of this magnificent beach of Lake Champlain, the 6th largest lake in America. So large of a lake that from my window alone, you cannot see because of the curvature of the earth, the end of the lake. It drops off into nowhere, but you see distant mountains beyond. So what we're going to do is we've called everybody in. We're going to take hold of somebody's hand to our right. We're going to take hold of somebody's hand to our left. We're going to breathe in together as one and out as one. In and out. In and out. Now, as we keep on breathing in and out together as one, I want you to imagine that there is a campfire at the center of our giant circle. And it's not just any campfire. Like the light behind me, it is the violet blue flame of Saint Germain. And how does it get any better than this? This is a flame that burns away all hatred. It burns away all aggression. It burns away everything that is not here to serve us. So we're going to play with this here tonight. Why? Well, our goal is to bring peace and love over LA and let that spread and broadcast out to the world. So what I'd like you to do is sitting there on the edge of the beach, I'd like you to search in your heart. And I'd like you to find something about the news, something about what's going on in the world, something that doesn't sit quite well with you or makes you really upset or, dare I say, even angry. And I'd like you to take note of it. I'd like you to study it. If you can literally pull it out of your heart, put it in the palm of your hands and look at this and observe it. What is this anger? What is this aggression? Where did this come from? Can I let it go? I guess before I let it go, is this here to serve me? Can I learn anything from you? Oh, I didn't know that. And now, can I let it go? And when you're ready, what I'd like you to do is take that anger, that aggression, that enmity, that rage, that upsettedness, whatever it may be, that fear, and I'd like you to throw it into the violet blue flame. It's a perfect toss. And watch it ignite as it enters and turn into little golden sparkly dust that goes up and spreads out and disappears in love. Ooh, that was kind of fun. So now go back to your heart. Start massaging our heart and ask yourself, is there anything else about the situation in LA that's really upsetting or bothering me? And if you've never even heard of the situation in LA, is there anything about humanity right now that's really upsetting or bothering me? I'd like you to scoop that out of your heart. I'd like you to put that out before you. I'd like you to observe it. I'd like you to study it. Ask what you can learn from it. Ask if you can let it go. Maybe even send that emotion, that experience, that feeling love. And then throw it too in that violet blue flame of Saint Germain. Watch it explode into stardust. Watch it sprinkle to the heavens. And then one more time, massage your heart. Feel into it. Ask self, what's bothering me? Or what's upsetting me? Or what's not sitting well with me now? And now I'd like you to scoop that out. Put that in your hands. Observe it. And ask it any question you'd like. See what you can learn from it. See what it has to share with you. And then when you're ready, send it love. Ask if you can let it go. And then throw it too in that violet blue flame of Saint Germain. And see it burst into beautiful golden stardust. And now chances are you're feeling a little, or in my words, a lot bit better. A lot bit more peaceful. A lot bit more at ease. And now I'd like you to imagine in your mind's eye. Imagine an LA at peace. Imagine an LA at ease. Imagine a place where everyone is getting along together as one. Everyone is breaking bread as one. There are riots going on. Imagine that the quote-unquote rioters and the quote-unquote police or National Guard or whomever have suddenly put down whatever they've used to riot or police or whatever we want to call whatever it is, and pulled out picnic baskets. Maybe they've got checkerboard. It's wooden picnic baskets with red and white checkerboard little tablecloths. And they pull out, maybe it's a baguette, maybe it's a beautiful French sandwiches that they pull out, or baguettes and cheese and wine, or whatever it may be, whatever floats your boat at a picnic. Flip your basket over, or see everybody in LA flipping their basket over, pulling out those wine glasses, inviting the other side to the table, so to speak, to their picnic basket, breaking bread, having the most amazing lunch together, and swapping story. Not just story of how they got to this supposed riot turned picnic. Not just story about how they got to this town or this situation, but about their sons, their daughters, their parents, their grandparents, their hopes, their dreams, their worries, their concerns. Swapping story, brother to brother, sister to sister, person to person, human to human, energetic being to energetic being, in the most amazing sit-in love fest of a picnic that has ever happened. Oh, but let's do it one better. Who's your favorite musician? Your favorite musical artist or singer? For suddenly before everyone there exists a stage with live performance after performance, illuminating people's hearts, carrying them higher and higher, so that everybody is not just breaking bread together, but they're sharing resonance, they're sharing frequency, they're sharing love and joy and music at the highest level. It's such a happy and joyous time that people are in tears. Tears of happiness and joy, so much so that people are going, I don't even remember why I was here. I don't even remember how I got here. All I know is I want to take this love with me when I leave. And that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to look another in the eye. We're going to look at someone we just broke bread with, someone that we never thought we would sit down with, someone in LA, someone in DC, somewhere on the other side of the planet or on another planet. We're going to see ourselves breaking bread with them. We're going to see ourselves sharing moments, laughing, crying, having joy, having a toast together. And we're going to get up at the end of this beautiful, beautiful meal. Wipe ourselves off with our napkin. Wipe our hands off as well. And then give them the biggest bear hug in the world. Kind of that almost break your rib. Not quite. Almost break your rib kind of hug. Look them in the eye. I love you, my brother. I love you, my sister. I love you, my fellow energetic being, having one of our million billion disguises, energetic being, having a disguise of an experience as a human being. I love you. I love you. I love you. And let's do this again, this peaceful sit-in, this peaceful picnic, this peaceful experience, this peaceful town. Sooner than ever. And let us now change the world together. Breathe it in, draw it in, feel the peace, feel the love, feel the most amazing experience. You just turned something completely on its head. and look around at all the picnic baskets, at all the people loving each other up, all the people giving hugs, all of the people with tears in their eye of how this city, this experience has transformed everything and everyone. And anchor it into your heart. For I promise you this, you literally did just change the world. You literally did just change the frequency. You literally did just change the outcome for many, not just few. And feel free to stay in this picnic as long as you'd like. And when you're ready to come back, open up your eyes and say along with me, how does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? Woohoo! All right, my fellow energetic beings having a divine human experience. I love you. I love you. I love you. Daily woohoo. I'll bring your energy up every day. School of Mystics. Oh my God, try it for free. Bring your energy up, shift you to a higher level, live at a higher plane. Everybody in the School of Mystics who's here can share with you all about that. If you want to channel, if you want her to communicate with the other side, automaticwriting.com. And we have another amazing show coming up on Thursday. And that show this Thursday is with, let's see if I can recall. We had Kyle this week. Oh my God, we've got Colette Barron Reed on manifestation at the highest level and why you may be blocked or stuck from it. So definitely worth a watch as well. So sending so much love your way. Going to play the music from my dear sister, Ayla Ray, and then fam's going to bed. So I've got to go tuck them in here. So I will run shortly and sending love. I send love. I send love. I send peace. I send healing. I send ease, and to LA and to around the world, cooling energy, softening energy, the energy of a gentle rain. I love you.
Every day there's a new horizon. Birds keep on singing, earth keeps on spinning. Time to toss any fears that rule you. Dance to vibrations, no limitations. Shine, hold the sunlight on your chest and fly. Look to the sky, let your spirit shine brightly, shine brightly. Share the magic deep in your soul. The glitter around you. Live your greatest truth. Catch those dreams swimming beside you. Yours for